I was asked to write this book. Like I didn't come up with the idea myself. I was my publisher actually when they were doing when my contract came up for renegotiation, they say we would like two more Lady Sherlock books, and we would like you to write a contemporary something kind of like only murders in the building, but with librarians. And I was like, oh really? Um, Later I would think, why me? Later, when I was having difficulty with this book, I was like, why me? I am not a librarian, although I love my local library. I like, never studied library science either. Um, but this is one of those things where you just have to let it sit. And Hazel is the character that came together first for me. The book always opened with Hazel, and it was always she was always the first among equals of of and you know how I think book writing is difficult for some people. There are some people I think who love to make decisions, and so I think book writing might be more might be easier for them because in putting together a story, you're doing nothing but making decisions for like sentence after sentence, paragraph after like so on and so forth for however long your book is. But I'm somebody who doesn't like to make decisions. Like I find it kind of like not terrifying per se, but like once you make a decision, you kind of close off all the other doors, don't you? Like once you make, so I kind of have to wait and sit with the story and write the wrong things until the decisions I make feel like the only possible decision I could make. And so that was easiest with Hazel. Hazel came together first. Um, it's like I know very little about my characters at the beginning. Like I just know that okay, she came back to the US from somewhere because another comp that my publishers wanted with regard to the librarians was they wanted a bit of the Thursday Murder Club. And the Thursday Murder Club actually has a good international element. I mean, it's British, so for us based in the US, it's already international. But even if you look at it as a UK-based book, you're a UK person, it still got a fairly like strong international component. So I also wanted someone from overseas, and Hazel was my and Singapore. The reason Singapore was because I had written a romance long time ago. It was the last historical romance I'd ever written, and probably the most epic one about this half Chinese, half English martial art expert. This girl who goes on this grand adventure and has these heartbreaking stories, and later reunited with her lover. And I used to always wonder whatever happened to her. And I decided a while ago that she and her lover, they went and settled down in Singapore because Singapore was still a place that's sort of within the Sinosphere. I could see her being Chinese and I could see her being English in Singapore. And it is also somewhere where she didn't have to experience a ton of the political upheavals, such as she would have if she has remained in China. So then I decided that Hazel was actually a descendant, the descendant of my romance couple. So then, of course, she was also from Singapore, that her mother came to the US and married someone in the US. And then so she was born in the US, but returned to Singapore. And so that was how it came about. And you know how, like I said, when decisions start to fall in like dominoes, fall down and it feels right, then everything's good. So yeah, she was the one that I put together along with Singapore. I think a library of all places, because a library is in a way a safe place. Like I don't know about elsewhere in the world because when I was growing up in China, I didn't experience a proper public library like there are so many here, which is why the book opens with the line, or in chapter one opens in the fortunate places of the world. Libraries are everywhere. Like it's truly the case that it's only in the fortunate places of the world that you just walk down the street and there's a little branch library like right there around the corner. It's a safe place. It's an accepting place, and it's one of the few. I think it might have been Zadie Smith who said that library is one of the few places that you can just go in and sit down without having to buy something first, like few places open to the public. Um, and it's a community center. It's a place where you go if you love books. It's a place where you go even if you don't love books, because they have a ton of things beyond books. And your librarians are truly like information specialists. They're not just people who know where books are located. They're like information specialists. And so in this story of four people, three of them are proper librarians. So Jonathan, Astrid, and Sophie, they are proper credentialed librarians. And Hazel is kind of like our point of view character, like the reader's point of view, because she is only a library clerk. She just undergoes like some like clerical training, and then she goes and she does the more mundane kind of work. Like she, shelves books and pulls books and, checks out people. She does those things. So she's kind of like she's like kind of like Harry Potter, who goes to this magical world, but he's like come from this muggle world. So he's not an expert in what is going on. So it's through his eyes that we discover everything. So it's like that. And the thing also is, I think in my line of work, I've also met, in our line of work, we meet lots of librarians, and they're wonderful people, and they're book lovers, but they're also people, right? They are people who have chosen this completely essential yet unglamorous world. They're like part of the glue that holds society together, and like hold public life together. So like no matter what, I think librarians are worth celebrating. It does deal a little bit with crypto. A couple of years ago, cryptocurrency was like all, I mean, I think even now it's over the news with its various ups and downs, and whether it's legitimate, whether it's the way of the future, whether it's just full fraud. And so I thought it was kind of like interesting and contemporary to put a little bit of that, so that there is, people are looking, like people at this library don't realize um, why two people who came to their little murder mystery night are later found dead. They're not quite sure what's the connection between those two. And it's so it starts in a very ordinary way, like just the everyday life of a little branch library, not even the main central, more glamorous, just a little branch library, at the edge of a neighborhood, surrounded by some apartment buildings and a grocery store. And then these people are thrown into this kind of extraordinary situation in which everybody's secrets start getting unraveled one by one, simply by matter when where they happen to be, who they happen to know. And so this was a fun part. This is always a fun part in a mystery, because yeah, I think the most fun part in a mystery is to be given like a cast of characters who seem normal, and then when they start having to account for themselves, you suddenly find out like, oh, you've been doing this, you've been doing that. Oh, this is your background. This is that. Oh, this is your secret heartache. This is like, what you've been carrying with you all this year. So in a way, constructing the mystery is the same as constructing any other mystery. But it's just that this is a different experience for me because it's contemporary. I actually have to pay a slight bit of attention to forensics, and also in constructing this book, I wrote a lot of love story, which I was personally quite thrilled about, because I started out as a romance writer and haven't written like a straight up mystery by that point at that time for quite some time. And so I was really thrilled that a lot of it turned on various romantic relationships, and that didn't seem forced in. That just seemed like part of it. Just this is what these people have gone through, and so I was quite thrilled about that.